we didn't know that she had had a stroke. We actually thought it was brachial plexus injury. So I was sort of in denial that anything was wrong with her, but my mom was very adamant, something's wrong, she's not moving the right side of her arm. I continued to go and say, my mom tells me that something's wrong, that something's not right. And the pediatrician said, you're an overreactive first-time mother. I said, okay, if I'm an overreactive first-time mother, prove me wrong and give me an MRI. And so he wouldn't. And he said, but I can refer you to a neurologist and see if they will give you a MRI. So I sat beside the road in my car on the phone with the neurologist, who was Dr. Charlotte Jones at Marshall University. And she said, bring her in tomorrow. And I took her into the office, and her very first words were, this baby has had a stroke. We go to an MRI, and you can imagine holding an 8-month-old baby. Went for the follow-up 3 days later, and I walk in her office, and there is Hillary's brain on a screen. And that was the moment. So I hear the words from Dr. Charlotte Jones. I hear the words from her. This baby will never walk, and this baby may never talk, and this baby may never ride a bike, and she certainly will never wear high heels like you. At 11 months old, I will never forget her in a cute peach orange romper in the middle of the living room, and she walked from the ottoman to the television.
It was really rough for a really long time because I would go to school and I would see all kinds of normal kids, or what I would consider to be normal, just walking around and living life and doing things that I thought that I wasn't able to do. And it was really rough, and I was bullied and told that I was different. And I knew that I wanted to do something with the American Heart Association as I was growing up to prove that we weren't different, because it really bothered me and I didn't want other kids to feel the same way that I did. So I really just dedicated every single year that I fundraised to proving a point, basically, that we were the same and that we could conquer everything else that everybody else could. Being from the state that has the leading numbers in heart disease and stroke, it means so much more, because I get to advertise this to people who really need to hear it, to understand that we can change our numbers, but we have to work together to do it.
It has been like the best thing to watch her overcome everything, and not just what's been stacked against her, but just the beautiful soul that she is. She's just so good. It's hard to look at Hillary and be anybody but a determined individual that won't take no for an answer. Because how can you look at her and what she's overcome and make excuses? We knew that we had to do something.
I struggled a lot growing up because of the bullies and everything, and I didn't know what my purpose was, because I knew that everybody had one, but I wasn't sure what mine was. And the American Heart Association coming into my life made me realize that that was my purpose, to raise awareness and to help other kids like myself.
She has used every challenge, every obstacle, everything that's happened to her to raise awareness and to raise money for the care of others. And we love it.
I think it's important that you give to the American Heart Association, because you can breathe life into these kids, literally, because you can give them a sense of purpose like the American Heart Association has been able to give to me. And I just think that that's one of the most important things that you need to realize tonight, because giving someone a purpose can change their life.
Take a minute and think about Hillary, and think about your children or the people that you love, and imagine what it would feel like to go through that type of experience, and what it would mean to you and your family for a complete stranger for someone to open up their pocket and give to you so that your family's cared for?
Because of the American Heart Association, I get to plan a future, and other survivors out there are able to plan their futures, whereas 20 years ago, we might not be able to have that luxury. And it's really important for me to continue working with this program because I don't want to ever get to a point where I take things for granted because of where I used to be. I want to help kids that aren't able to take things for granted and have to feel that pain every day, realize that they can get to a point where they are thinking of everyday things like everybody else. I want them to only have to worry about the everyday things and not, can I do this like someone else, or why can't I do this? Why did this happen to me? I want them to be able to turn it into a story that they can use like I have. I don't want them to have to struggle with wondering why they had to turn out different.
I believed instantly that God had different plans for her and for me. And I knew that He gave her to me for a reason. So we're talking, we are walking, and we ride a bike, and now she wears high heels like her mom.